Hola tribe. Today is a Dear Kai video. So let's see if I can get the question properly stated. I have a dear one that reached out and asked for how to deal with psychic attacks and energetic attacks. And so here's the thing, first and foremost, I don't care how perfect or pure you are, we all do it. We all show up somehow, some way, in an imbalanced way and potentially harm another person energetically with, I don't want to say malicious, but thoughts or questions or judgments that, that can be projected upon another and harm them, right, energetically. And so this person was kind of under a hardcore psychic attack with family members. And she wanted to know what to do about that, or why it would have come up like that, or how to deal with it. So let's see. First and foremost, I find that those are the opportunities that test out who you are as a person. And I do my best to witness them as gifts. I don't always, in the moment, see them as a gift, let's be honest. Quite often I've been, spiritually or psychically attacked and, instantly defensive. Well, it happens. It happens. I wish that I didn't have to guard myself or feel that I've been needing to guard, but it does happen. I do my best to soften and to come back to a place of presence. And in that place of presence, simply breathe. And as I mentioned to this person, they told me all the things they did, and I was so proud of her for all the things she did during the moments of it, And so, she did breath work, and she offered unconditional love and held space and prayed and did all these things that needed to be done so that to see if the person would stop attacking her. So first and foremost, that's really what it comes down to, is how special is that? She may be going through this process, yet she is being given an opportunity to test out her skills and to approach things from a way that she may not have before, right? So really it's a gift, it's just a gift in that moment, and to test out who you are. And there are things, like I said, you can do different breathing patterns, techniques, drop in as much as you can when, it's such a good space of meditation, that you can just drop in and start to breathe and focus. One really good technique is to ask yourself where your light is, or where your peace is within you, where your unconditional love is, wherever that energy is in your body that you need to conjure at that moment in time. You can just ask yourself and drop in. And then once you find it, just expand it. Just sit in it and expand it. And I think what happens is our ego overrides, and we think that we have to pay attention to what's taking place outside of us. One, we think we have to pay attention to what's taking place outside of us. Two, we think we need to sit there and actually endure it. And I bet you there's a third, but I'm not thinking of it right now, right? So, but those are the primaries. So one, you can remove yourself, and kindly say, thank you very much, I'm good, I don't need to participate in this conversation anymore. I'm sorry that you feel threatened by me. And that's usually what it is. When a human being is attacking you, it's because they feel threatened by you. They want your power, so they're trying to do whatever they can. And this person was doing a lot of passive aggressive stuff, and that's usually somebody who already feels weak. I have a family member that does that a whole lot, that they thrive off of when you're weak. They want you to be in a place of weakness so that they can take from you, or they like to set up scenarios where you're codependent on them. I love and adore this person. However, there's levels of respect that I can't offer them, because I know their pattern, and it's thick and it's deep, and they're really blind to it, and a lot of other people are blind to it too. And so I just accept that that's who they are. And because of that, I also know that I have to be guarded. I don't mean guarded like defensive guarded. I mean, know that that's their pattern. And in knowing that that's their pattern, I just allow myself to be prepared for that to take shape if it has, that if I'm really, really tired or vulnerable, maybe it's not a time to go and engage with that person, because they're very passive aggressive. I don't need that. It's just exhausting, right? And it makes me sad. It makes me really, really sad that I'm in a situation where a person does something like that. So, and I don't want to look at them in that way. I know that they're better than that. And it just saddens me. I don't want to have to look at them in that light. But I accept the fact that they show up that way, right? Let's see. So, first and foremost, I give thanks, the best of my ability, that I'm having the situation, and it's testing out my skills, and it's testing out my ability to love. Really is what I do. Like most situations, I enjoy the adventure. And for me, it's discovering of myself and who I am in every situation. And, sometimes I like me and sometimes I don't. Just the way it works. And I think that's how it should work. If you liked yourself all the time, shit, I think they'd probably be boring. Excuse me. Right? If you thought you were picture perfect all the time, then, you're definitely not being honest with yourself, but that's my opinion. I think that would be boring. There'd be no room for growth. There's no room for the adversity. There's no room for expansion, right? So to have those moments of, I wonder how I show up. I wonder who I am when I'm tested with these scenarios, right? It's powerful stuff. Trust me, I don't always like the tests, but I do enjoy realizing that seeing the lens of love that I hold for others and how I get to show up for them, that's special to me. Yeah. So how else do we deal with people like that? Well, you can do different energetic tools. You can imagine a rose in front of you. A rose is the most high vibrational plant, or actually element. It is truly like the most highest vibrational element on the earthly plane. Frankincense and myrrh are up there, but a rose is even higher. So with that being said, there's a training that I've done called Mastering Alchemy. You should check that out, Mastering Alchemy, with Jim Self. He's amazing, and his tools are just brilliant, and I still use them after training in this like 15 years ago. Just really good stuff, and I involve it in other workshops I teach. So placing a rose in front of you and just seeing the rose, talking as if there's a rose in between you and the person, tends to change the dynamic and keeps you like in your own personal bubble. And once you train in this well enough, there's a rose in front of you, there's roses to the side of you, there's a rose behind you, there's multiple roses that you can keep your attention and focus on simultaneously in order to create a bubble of safety for you to be within and not have people kind of break through. let's see. I apologize in advance. My eyes are very sensitive to light these days, so I'm just noticing that as I'm speaking. So, what else can you do? Oh, I like the mirrors. Mirrors are like my favorite. Allowing myself to either put myself in like with mirrors all around me, and just allow myself to see me. So as I'm talking to people, it's as if I'm just talking to myself. And it gives me another perception of how I'm showing up for other people. What do I sound like? How am I showing up if I was talking to myself? And my other favorite of that is turn the mirrors outwardly. I recently had a situation in Nicaragua where I was being attacked. I may have put that in a video at some point in time, but I was definitely not perfect. However, it was really intense, and this person, just about as often as I was in their presence, basically came after me and just put a whole lot of blame, shame, and guilt on me, even though their communication during their workshops was all about that how often people try to project on you and do those things, and then they completely did it to me. It was quite hysterical, actually, and I just saw the humor in all of it, the sarcasm of life. And so at one point in time, I literally just, not one point, but numerous times, I just held space I let them attack me. It was their retreat, and so I let them attack me, and I just put mirrors up, and allowed myself to shine that mirror upon them so that the energy was their own. Everything they were saying was just as if they were talking to themselves. I didn't want to take anything personally. It was all them. And it was interesting because I remember the last conversation that was had, I held the mirror up and they made a comment to me that just as quickly as they said it, I finally knew I was leaving, so I didn't feel like threatened at that point in time anymore, that I could actually speak a little bit of my truth. So they had said something and it, tried to insult me, and I just said, yeah, I thought that about you too. Just reflect back to them that what they thought of me was what I thought of them. That was it. And that was it. They went off the handle. And so that gave me an internal laugh. I deeply love them. I deeply love them and wish them no harm or pain. I think they're an amazing human being. However, it was an eye-opening experience, to say the least. But it happens, and when somebody feels threatened by your energy, they attack you. And sadly, it's been a common thread for me where people will come at me energetically, and so I just have such a resilience to it now. And I just have learned humility. Like, who am I to say that they don't have the right to feel that way? I don't know. I don't know what about my energy bubble or what's inside of me or just in what my breath is giving them that makes them feel that way. So allow them to feel that way. If I'm not feeling threatened in the sake of like they're going to harm me, then I can just allow them to say what they need to say and move along. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But that's been a lot of training for me. And I mean a lot of training for me to not have a fight or flight or freeze response, that I can just simply breathe and allow them to be in that moment. Oh, one of my other favorite tools in that moment is when I see somebody having a tantrum or flipping out or psychically attacking me or whatever those things are, I, again, go inside and I ask myself, what age are they right now? This is a really good one. So say you have an elder, right? You have somebody 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old. Doesn't matter what age they are, but an elder to you flipping out in front of you, right? And so it's like, wow, like, why are they doing this? And it's really difficult to not see them as the adult in that moment, right? Because then that's our ego being like, what the fuck? You know, you wanna fight fire with fire. Foolish. So when you see someone of that nature, I just drop in and I go, ooh, okay, wow, okay. How old are they showing up right now? Well, it's like a 7-year-old, right? It's like a teenager. It's like they're 10, right? 5, 10, 12, whatever. I give it an age. And then I just sit there and hold space for them. And then I choose to speak to them as if that's how old they are, because that's how old they're showing up. And clearly, that is the age that is showing up in a wounded space. And so that's what needs to be dealt with, not the adult. The adult doesn't need to be dealt with. It's the child within them, or whatever age that is that they are wounded from, that needs to be healed, right? So who am I to say that they're wrong in that moment? They have every right. I just happen to be the whipping post at that moment in time, right? So it is what it is. It's not a fun experience, but I will say that if you're on this spiritual journey, it is an experience that gives you the opportunity to test out your tools and your gifts and allow yourself to be a witness in the healing process, because that's all we are. That's really all we are. If you are in it the way I am, and I think there's a lot of us that are, that it's not about the power struggle, it's about the healing. And if this person shows up wounded, can I truly be a healer? Can I truly just be a healer and hold space for their healing and not take it personally? It's not about you. It's not about you, right? It's about the energy. You know, it's not even about them. It's just about the energetic exchange. Make it simple. Make it a simple thing. It's not about you. It's just energy. And I go through that with a lot of stuff in life. I just consider everything balls of energy, right? Instead of, you know, a parental issue or a family member issue, I just go, okay, well, it's a ball of energy. I could say it's the sibling. I could say it's a parent. I could say it's my best friend. I could say whatever I want to say and over-identify with a title, right? That just creates an attachment. I can over-identify, which keeps me in this energetic loop. Why? This and and that's so here rather than here. Rather than being an expansive space, it is like in this lock hold. It has nothing to do with that. They're just a ball of energy. That's it. Keep it simple. So this ball of energy came at me, and so this ball of energy is coming at this ball of energy. Can I draw myself back enough to witness what that is and deal with it on a simple way versus a more complex way and taking it personally, right? So just a few different ways of looking at it, right? What is